Peppa's countdown to the bedtime. Hello everybody. Welcome to our channel Better Days. So, come, this story is very interesting. The story is about bedtime. So come, let's start the story and have the fun. By the way friends, this story is very interesting story. So come, let's see what's about in the story. Granny and Grandpa Pig were visiting Peppa and George's house. They had lots of fun together, but it was getting late. Come on, little ones, let's get you ready for bed, said Daddy Pig. Can we play the countdown to bedtime game with Granny and Grandpa, please? Asked Peppa.
That's a lovely idea. Why don't you tell Granny and Grandpa Pig how to play it?
Said Mommy Pig. First you count 10 things, then 9 things, then 8 things, all the way down to 1 thing before you go to bed, explained Peppa.
It sounds like a game we used to play with your mommy when she was your age,
said Granny Pig. Who's going to start the counting down first? Asked Grandpa Pig. Me, I know. First, let's jump in 10 muddy puddles, cried Peppa excitedly. Peppa and George raced out, closely followed by Grandpa Pig, and found 10 very muddy puddles perfect for jumping in. Peppa, George, and Grandpa Pig jumped in the 10 very muddy puddles. Everyone was laughing and covered in muddy. That's 10 muddy puddles jumped in. What's next? Said Peppa. It's starting to get dark, whispered Grandpa Pig. Before we go inside, shall we use my torch to see if we can spot nighttime creatures? Oh yes, Peppa whispered back. Peppa, George, and Grandpa Pig tiptoed around the garden looking for the nighttime creatures. Suddenly, George spotted lots of little hedgehogs skulking across the grass. Hedgehogs, he cried, pointing. Peppa, George, and Grandpa Pig counted 9 cute hedgehogs. Great nighttime detective work, said Grandpa Pig. That's 9 nighttime creatures spotted. What's next? Said Peppa. George shone the torch up at the sky. Tweet, tweet, he said. Look, George has found 8 little birds flying to their nest. Night, night, little birds, said Peppa. Well, George, said Grandpa Pig. Peppa and George waved good night to 8 little birds flying to their nest. That's 8 little birds waved too. What's next? Said Peppa.
I think it's time to play home too,
said Mummy Pig coming outside. Peppa, George, Grandpa Pig pretending to be birds flying back home. In the living room, Granny Pig said,
I see 7 toy monkeys that need to be tied away.
Peppa and George picked up 7 toy monkeys and put them in the basket. Good night, monkeys, said Peppa. That's 7 toy monkeys tied it away. What's next? Said Peppa. Peppa, George, called Daddy Pig. Everyone rushed to the kitchen to find Daddy Pig with 6 glasses of warm milk. Here are 6 bedtime drinks, said Daddy Pig. Yummy, thank you, Daddy, said Peppa, lifting her head up to show everyone her milk mustache. You're welcome, Peppa, said Daddy Pig. That's 6 glasses of a yummy bedtime drink drunk. What's next? Said Peppa.
Shall we get you all cleaned up?
Granny Pig asked Peppa and George. Bedtime! Hurry! Cheered Peppa. In the bathroom, Granny Pig spotted 5 rubber ducks in need of wash. Splash, splash, splash. Peppa and George had lots of fun bathing with the 5 rubber ducks and splashing Granny and Grandpa Pig too.
It's time for the ducks to go bed now,
Said Granny Pig. Night, night, 5 little duckies, said Peppa. That's 5 rubber ducks, nice and clean. What's next? Said Peppa. Mommy and Daddy Pig came to help Peppa and George get into their pajamas and brush their teeth. Oh no, gasped Peppa. What's wrong? Asked Daddy Pig. We need something for number 4. But George and I have only 2 toothbrushes, said Peppa.
don't worry. Daddy and I will brush our teeth too. Then we will have 1, 2, 3.
Said Mommy Pig. And 4. Brush, 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 brush. Finished Peppa. After they were finished, Peppa said, that's 4 brushy toothbrush brushed with. What's next? Grandpa Pig went to close the curtain in Peppa's and George's room. When they looked out of the window, Peppa and George counted 3 stars shining in the night sky. Look, George, 3 twinkling stars. Let's pretend we are in a rocket exploring out space, cried Peppa. That's 3 twinkle stars counted. What's next? Said Peppa. Grandpa Pig helped George into bed and Peppa also into the bed. Peppa, you tuck in Teddy. George, you tuck in Mr. Dinosaur. Then let's 2 favorite toy ready to sleep. That's 2 favorite toy all tucked in. What's next? Said Peppa. And Granny Pig said,
We have a very special number 1 for you.
We do, said Grandpa Pig. Then he thought for a moment. Oh yes, of course, he said. We have one very special bedtime story for you both. Hurry! Cheered Peppa and George. They love bedtime stories. Peppa and George were all cuddled up and cozy in bed when Granny Pig started their one very special bedtime story. Granny Pig began.
Once upon a time, very quietly and very slowly, there were 2 little pigs who jumped in 10 muddy puddles, spotted 9 mid-time creature, waved to 8 little birds, tidied 7 toy monkeys, shared 6 bedtime drinks, bathed with 5 rubber ducks, found 4 brushes, toothbrush, counted 3 twinkle stars, tucked in 2 favorite toys.
As Peppa and George closed their eyes, Granny whispered,
And listen to one very special bedtime story. Night, night, little ones.
Peppa and George were so tired from playing the countdown to bedtime game they had fallen asleep. Mommy and Daddy Pig came in to say good night. Mommy Pig said, seeing Peppa and George fast asleep.
You can always count on the countdown to bedtime game. You can end it.
Said Granny Pig, look over at Grandpa, who had fallen asleep too. Mommy Pig, Daddy Pig, and Granny Pig all laughed. Ha 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 ha. Peppa and George love counting down to bedtime. Everyone loves counting down to bedtime. So friends, this story is finished. I hope You enjoyed Peppa's and George countdown bedtime. When you feel asleep, then you also play countdown to bedtime. Then you'll got to sleep very early and deeply also. So friends, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye bye. Meet you in the next story of Peppa Pig. Bye bye.